Herzlich willkommen bei Felder. Herzlich willkommen in der Welt der Holzbearbeitung.
Welcome to Felder. Welcome to the world of woodworking. For more than 50 years, our family business, Felder KG Hull, has been developing and producing woodworking machines engineered for planing, cutting, moulding and mortising, for small handicraft, craftsman, trade and industry. With the Tyrolean know-how on the Felder and hammer products for planing, cutting, moulding or combination machines, and the CNC woodworking centres with the professional format for design, Felder products stand for quality. We invite you to place your trust in us. Our products offer you a long-lasting guarantee of precision and enjoyment in woodworking.
Holzbearbeiter, die etwas auf sich halten, arbeiten mit Kombimaschinen aus dem Hause Felder.
Competent woodworkers use Felder combination machines. The following scenes will demonstrate why, of all things, a Felder combi should also be your first choice. The first section will show you the Felder combination machine, CF741 Professional, with all machine details and the unique Felder application technique. Before deciding on the purchase of a machine, we recommend you familiarize yourself especially with this unique Felder combination machine application technique. The second section will show you how you can let your creative imagination and craftsmanship run free with a Felder combination machine, and how you can achieve exceptional work results in a rational, precise and convenient manner. The credits will show a brief overview of our combination machine program, ranging from the basic model to the ultimate professional combination machine. Our very own Sepp, a woodworker, will accompany us on the machine. During my 30 years of experience with Felder woodworking machines, I have always been faced with the same question. How can such a woodworking centre actually fit through a standard door and be transported into the workshop? My reply will always remain the same. A Felder woodworking centre simply requires a door clearance of approximately 80 centimetres, and nothing will stand in your way to turn your dream of owning a Felder into reality. Our carpenter, Sepp, has fitted his Felder woodworking centre CF741 Professional with a rolling carriage. He can now position his machine. Hence, approximately 800 kilograms of machine weight can be easily moved around. Here you see perhaps the best Felder combination machine of all time. The lockable main switch and selector switch functions for planer, thicknesser, mortising, cutting, moulding, anti-clockwise and clockwise. 3 separate motors for planing, cutting and moulding functions provide sufficient traction with a performance of up to 10 horsepower. We shall begin with the circular saw. The new Felder circular saw unit, made 100% from cast iron with high precision play-free dovetail guidance tracks for accurate positioning. The height adjustment of the saw blade is carried out via the smooth-running hand wheel up to a maximum cutting height of 104 millimeters. Our carpenter Sepp has opted for the electrical height adjustment power drive, an enviable extra. The red LED display indicates the cutting height accurately to 1/10 of a millimeter, the turn knob for the quick adjustment, and the fine adjustment per keystroke. The tilting brackets of the circular saw device with 0-point tilt flow smoothly with the newly developed Easy Glide guides. Highest load capacity, absolutely play-free, insensitive to dust and completely maintenance-free. This robust system is also used in heavy industry for cranes and floodgates. The tilt display can be fitted onto the hand wheel on request. 6 years warranty for Easy Glide is convincing proof of performance. The saw blade can be replaced easily, smoothly and quickly. Protection devices do not need to be removed. A few steps will provide you free access to the blade. The maximum blade diameter is 315 millimeters, which results in a cutting height of 104 millimeters. A considerable caliber for a circular saw. The scoring unit ensures splinter-free cuts in panel material. 2 scoring models are available for the 700 series. The mechanical scoring unit is powered with a belt via the circular saw shaft, and the electric one is equipped with a separate 1 horsepower motor. Both models feature the reliable poly V belts used on all Felder machines for maximum power performance. The scoring saw blade with a diameter of 100 millimeters can be combined with the main circular saw blade with a diameter of 300 millimeters. The vertical and lateral position of the scoring blade is extremely precise and easily adjustable from above. The saw blade and scoring unit operate in a sealed enclosure. The sawdust is extracted entirely below the table. In an example, Sepp will now show you how important the precise interaction between main and scoring saw blade is during the handling of laminated materials. The workpiece edges are completely splinter-free on both sides. The completed workpiece with glued edge. Felder precision. The parallel cutting width is 930 millimeters. The parallel cutting fence is secured to the bench with a solid clamp. Precise setting is made possible by an integrated fine adjustment mechanism. The aluminium rip fence plate can be moved backwards for stripping jobs or to improve the feeding of workpieces. For processing small workpieces with a tilted saw blade, the aluminium fence can be placed in a lying position. Retrofitting takes place quickly and without the need for tools. The Felder aluminium sliding table has been designed to handle high levels of strain whilst maintaining optimal performance. The mono profile of the sliding table and base operate completely free from distortion at any temperature. The X-roll guiding system distributes the pressure load to all sides. Silicone dust scrapers and wiping brushes ensure the guiding path remains free of residue. The load test demonstrated by Sepp will show you 90 kilograms of pure muscle mass has no impact whatsoever on a Felder sliding table. The sliding table can be locked in various positions and therefore provides an additional support surface. The longitudinal profile on the sliding table provides table extensions for enlargement of the work surface. The Felder Outrigger table offers even more support surface. Sepp is assembling his outrigger without the use of operating tools. The transport and mounting unit for the outrigger table is a very handy aid and also provides secure table storing when not in use. The outrigger table enables processing of even larger and heavier panels with the format sliding table. 8 roller bearings in the crosscut fence ensure highest precision and smooth operation. The crosscut fence with an adjustment length of 2,600 or 3,200 millimeters ensures precise cross and miter cuts. Tool-free assembly with minimum steps. The swivel-in end stop guarantees a precise 90 degrees angular cut. You can rely on this setting 100%. The fence scale is tilted to the operator side and enables precise reading of values by using the lens. A small protrusion is situated on the cross-cut stop, which catches into a groove on the fence. Thus, the cross-cut stop can be used comfortably even with miter cuts. The maximum setting length is 2,600 or 3,200 millimeters if required. A degree indexing system with pins in 5-degree increments is available on request. Every pin is fitted with length compensation. The fabrication of polygons true to size, such as a 32-corner, 16-corner or 8-corner, becomes child's play. The workpiece roller at the end of the outrigger table enables easy loading of particularly long workpieces. The outrigger table and crosscut fence can also be used at the front of the sliding table. The short crosscut fence with a length of 1,100 millimeters for miter cuts is attached to the sliding table without the use of tools. The miter scale integrated into the sliding table enables easy settings to the required angles, either plus 45 degrees or minus 45 degrees. A swivel-in 90-degree stop defines a precise right angle. The usable area expands up to 2,000 millimeters in length by using the telescopic extension. In order for you to see more with the next setting, we have deliberately abstained from using protection devices. Felder Series 700 circular saw machines can be set up for adjustable groove tooling. Due to a detachable flange and removable table insert, you can insert adjustable groove tooling, which has been specially designed by Felder. The results speak for themselves.
A
Felder combination circular saw unit is packed with technology and precision. The solid saw table made of cast iron, double-guided and play-free guidance with 0-point tilting and 6-year guarantee. Electrical circular saw height adjustment, scoring unit, hassle-free saw blade replacement, continuous fence for parallel cuts, Felder Aluminium sliding table with unique X-roll guiding system, and with a 6-year guarantee. 5 cutting lengths up to 3.2 meters. Outrigger table with its large support surface and degree indexing system for precise angular cuts. And a telescopic fence for crosscuts with the pitch scale towards the operating side. You will find these details, which usually characterize professional solo machines, on our Felder combination machines. In addition, Felder is offering you a unique setup concept. This is demonstrated in detail with the Spindle Moulder. Witness the broad range of possible applications of Felder spindle moulders. SEP countersinks the saw blade completely under the table. With the Spindle Moulder, SEP has also adopted for the exclusive electric height adjustment power drive with red LED display and precise height display with accuracy to 1/10 of a millimeter. A 230mm table opening enables the application of panel raising tools below the table surface. The new Felder tilting spindle moulder unit up to 45 degrees with power drive and an additional angular display built into the hand wheel. Double-sided support maintenance-free tilting segment guide Easy Glide with a 6-year guarantee. A second extraction outlet for below-table extraction of the moulder unit ensures that the spindle and drive mechanism is not affected by sawdust. Therefore, your machine will also stay clean on the inside. 4 speed options, optimal application for all tooling diameters. Felder uses the reliable Poly-V belt drive for all units. Near perfect power transmission and no heating are benefits of this advanced drive. The quick spindle exchange system is an unbeatable and unique performance feature in all Felder machines. The standard spindle is simply pulled out and replaced by a high-speed spindle for routed bits with 15,000 revs per minute. It only requires a few steps. The height adjustment of the spindle moulder unit occurs via a 3-play dovetail guiding system made out of solid cast iron. Moulder spindles with securely pre-assembled spindle moulder tooling can be applied in seconds for serious moulding work as well as for moulder spindles with various diameters. Sepp will now demonstrate the spindle moulder fence with multi-adjustment system. Both locating pins sit in the table accurately and thus enable precise parallel adjustments of the spindle moulder fence. And precise fine adjustment with accuracy to 1/10 of a millimeter. A measuring scale will indicate the diameter of the spindle moulder tool. The adjustment to the required chip thickness becomes child's play. Both anodized fence plates can be adjusted in such a way that they are situated as close as possible to the flight circle of the spindle moulder tool. Thus, you are significantly improving work safety. You are able to precisely adjust the fence plate between -5 and +25 millimeters for both spindle rotation directions with accuracy to 1/10 of a millimeter. Please keep your safety in mind at all times. Always use the included protection device. The Felder spindle moulder fence makes it easy for you. A pressure shoe which presses the wood piece to the workbench and a transparent pressure spring which presses it against the fence plate enables safe and secure operations of the spindle moulder. The Felder Precision Spindle Moulder Fence accommodates tools with a diameter up to 230 millimeters. Virtually all current spindle moulder tools can therefore operate inside the fence. A 120 millimeter extraction outlet guarantees perfect chip extraction. The aluminium sliding table on your Felder combination can be easily set up for slot and tenoning work. Assemble the crosscut fence in the center of the sliding table. The T-nut in the aluminium profile of the sliding table is used for seating the eccentric clamps. The power feeder is not only an essential accessory for your assistants, but also for operator safety whilst working on the spindle moulder. It ensures a constant feeding rate and that the workpiece lies flush with the fence. In addition, you can also apply the feeder when working with the circular saw or whilst planing. To avoid the painstaking work of dismounting the feeder when sawing, we have come up with an ingenious solution, the tilting bracket. Sepp will demonstrate how easy it is to operate. After all, the feeder weighs 59 kilograms. The tilting device is now situated completely under table level and is stored to save space.
Mit der schwenkbaren Frässpindel sparen Sie bares Geld.
Our tilting spindle moulder will save you time and money. This spare cash can now be put to use for a new beveling cutter head or a miter glue joint cutter. Did you ever imagine that the spindle moulder module of the Felder combination machines features such high performance and is so user-friendly? Large table opening of 230 millimeters, solid double suspended spindle moulder unit with the tilting segment Easy Glide and a 6-year guarantee, electric spindle height adjustment option, unique quick spindle exchange system, wide poly V belts for maximum power transmission, precise spindle moulder fence with multi-fine adjustment system and automatic repetition setting, and double extraction on the fence and under the table. Again, these are all details you would normally find on a solo spindle moulder in the professional market, all of which are available on our combination machines. The surface planer with a planing width of 410 millimeters has solid cast iron tables. The table length is 1,640 millimeters and can be extended to 3,640 millimeters. This offers you exceptional flexibility. You can easily adjust the in-feed table for up to 5 millimeters chip removal in one pass. Using a lens, the scale will indicate the value set. Adjusting precision is warranted by the patented planar table adjustment system with positive prismatic guide rails. The planar fence can be utilized across the entire width of the table. A large eccentric clamp holds the fence securely to the table. You can tilt the planar fence for beveling work. A graded scale as well as stops for 90 and 45 degrees makes adjustments easy for you. The Euro planar guard acts as a protective bridge for the cutter block. It is spring-mounted and can be easily adjusted in both height and width. SEP has opted for the Euro Comfort Planar Guard, which can be folded for extra convenience. The rear unused area of the cutter block is also covered with a guard for additional safety. The setup for thicknessing is child's play. You simply release 2 clamping levers and simultaneously tilt both planar tables upward, where they automatically interlock. Strong industrial springs support the opening motion, making the process effortless. The tables tilt towards the machine center, thus they do not form an obstruction and do not occupy additional working space. The dust extraction hood is flipped quickly and hassle-free. It is designed so that the dust extraction result is top-notch during planing and thicknessing. The extraction hose and the quick connector guide the chipping to the dust extractor. 120 millimeter diameter for perfect results with professional dust extractors. Clean machines, clean workshop, healthy air to breathe. These double-sided lateral guides guarantee ultimate stability during thicknessing. For his thicknessing table, SEP has also selected the electric height adjustment power drive with digital height indicator. He adjusts the table with the turn knob between a maximum of 250 millimeters and a minimum of 4 millimeters. The fine adjustment is done by a push button. With 2 in-feed speeds, 6 or 12 meters per minute, you can adjust your machine to the relevant wood type and thus achieve the best possible surface finish. If you work with very long or heavy workpieces, you can enlarge the thicknessing table with our reliable table extensions. These are available in various sizes and formats. The cutter block can be optionally fitted with 2 or 4 cutters. SEP opted for the 4-knife cutter block. The planing results speak for themselves every time. Have you ever replaced a planar knife? Do you know how time-consuming it is and how many adjustment tools are usually required? None of this applies to a Felder. With a Felder system cutter block, replacing a knife takes no time at all and does not require additional expensive adjustment tools. And here is how. Loosen the clamping screw. Dismantle the planer knife together with the knife support. Turn the knife. The pre-formed holes on the knife correspond exactly to the locating pins of the bracket. The knife support is already finely adjusted at the factory and is always positioned at the same height, even after hundreds of knife replacements. You will achieve consistent, precise knife settings due to the quality of the workmanship. The knife flight circle corresponds 100% to the feed-in planer table. We put our name on it. Your benefits are no additional downtime as there are no setup times, efficient operation, no hassle, no unnecessary expenses for adjustment equipment, consistent precision and planing quality for decades. After completion of your thicknessing work, fold the planer table back down, and thus you are ready again for planing in seconds.
Möglicherweise haben Sie sich schon einmal beim Hobelmesserwechsel geärgert.
You may have become annoyed in the past when replacing planer knives. With a Felder, you will look forward to the next planer knife replacement. Hassle-free, you saw it yourself. And there are still some details I would like to bring to your attention. Solid planer tables made of cast iron, precise adjustment with our patented prismatic guide rails, planer fence adjustable across the entire planing width, quick conversion times from planing to thicknessing and vice versa, chipping dust extraction hood for optimal extraction results and clean air, electric height adjustment for thicknesser table, and quick planer knife exchange system. These points are only some of the highlights which are self-evident in our combination machines. As additional function, we shall now take a look at the horizontal mortiser. To save space, Sepp is using a connectable slot mortising bit support on his combination machine. He has fitted the horizontal mortiser with running gear. Thus, he can easily position it up to the machine and dock it. For planing jobs, he removes the mortising unit again and places it to one side. The mortising support has a simple single hand lever operation and runs on hardened steel nails. A scale and 2 length stops are available to set the mortising length. A mortising depth of up to 160 mm with depth stop. A maximum mortising length, therefore, of up to 250 mm. You can regulate the mortising height with a hand wheel. The adjustment range is 130 mm. One rotation corresponds to 2 mm height change. A digital clock can be installed into the height adjustment wheel. Reading of the setting is accurate to 1/10 of a millimeter. The mortising chuck has 2 clamping flanges and a clamping area of 16 mm. It is suitable for both left and right cutting and router bits. A clamp fixes the workpieces securely in position. All the requirements to ensure repeatability in the future have been fulfilled. Here you can see several unique options on how your Felder combination can adjust to various workpiece sizes. For example, for a table extension with support leg, 1 meter long, cast iron table extensions with 500 mm length, aluminium table extension 500 mm, outrigger table, and aluminium table extension for the sliding table.
Das Tischverlängerungssystem wurde erstmals im Jahr 1969.
The table extension system was first introduced to Felder combination machines in 1969, almost 40 years ago. Since then, thousands of customers have profited from the benefits. The machine size can be adjusted according to the relevant workpiece size. Oversized workpieces can be handled safely without any assistance. A Felder combination machine is setting universal standards for technology and user-friendliness, with possibly the world's best sliding table based on X-roll guiding technology. Take a look at the result you will achieve with X-roll and what this means for you. As a living material, wood always feels nice, and it is fun to create wooden workpieces. This was the basic material for this gorgeous exclusive desk, made from precious walnut wood. Due to numerous processing options and virtually unlimited processing sizes, on Sepp's Felder CF 741 Professional, creativity was endless whilst planning this desk.
Planung des Schreibtisches keine Grenzen gesetzt.
It all starts with the rough cut. The raw materials. Sepp is using hand-picked top-quality planks. For the panel frame, he is opting for walnut wood. The drawers are to be made of maple wood. Whilst selecting the wood, Sepp looked out for nice grain, proper wood moisture, and minimum cutting quantity. The cutting starts with the trimming of rough planks. These parts are later used to produce the frame for the tabletop. The highly resilient, smooth-running sliding table and the Outrigger table make these jobs a pleasure. Sepp uses a universal saw blade with alternate bevel teeth suitable for crosscuts. Obviously, he has opted for the largest blade with 315mm diameter. With this saw blade, he could achieve a cutting height of up to 104mm. A line drawn with the tape measure is sufficient to mark out the rough cut. We allow for an excess of approximately 50 to 70mm. The workpiece roller on the Outrigger table facilitates the loading of the heavy plank. The saw blade cuts into the dense walnut wood like a knife through butter. Later on, the tabletop frame will be cut from this plank. The Crosscut Fence scale, which tilts towards the operator, allows him to easily make an exact reading of the value set. Now the shorter walnut planks are used to trim parts for the desk foundation, sides and rear wall parts. Sepp places the cuttings neatly to one side. This is now followed by the front parts for the drawers, which are joined together with the maple frame at the end. A total of 10 drawer front parts are to be produced from the prepared raw material. Sepp has boundless trust in the load-bearing capacity of his chocks. The load increases. Moving right along with the maple wood cuts for the drawer frame. This will become the longitudinal parts of the drawers. And these the shorter cross sections for the front and rear of the drawers. The first step in the process is complete. All parts are trimmed to size. Moving right along with the longitudinal section, rough cut and parallel cut. Sepp replaces his saw blade with a rip blade with flat teeth. Just a few simple steps are sufficient. All operating elements are easily accessible and reachable from the top in a comfortable working position. The edging shoe is quickly attached to the sliding table. Parallel cutting fence for the parallel cut up to a maximum of 930 millimeters. The integrated fine adjustment will assist with precise settings. The saw blade height adjustment is significantly faster using power drive as opposed to using a hand wheel. Sepp has invested in this extra on his Felder and tells us he can't do without it anymore. The circular saw protection HUD, made from transparent polycarbonate and a 50mm extraction hose, remove the chippings which are thrown upwards between the saw teeth. Thus, the surrounding blade area remains clean and clearly visible. Rip cut and parallel cut of desk side parts. Firstly, the rip cut is carried out. This then turns into the reference edge for the parallel cuts. We calculated a size allowance of approximately 5mm for the parallel sizing. For your own safety, never work without a push stick and table extension at the end of your circular saw bench. 5 format cutting lengths from 1,300mm up to 3,200mm are available for Felder machines. Sepp has opted for the 2,500mm cutting length. One of the most prominent features of a Felder combination machine is being able to adjust the machine to the workpiece size. Thus, with a few steps, Sepp replaces the 500mm cast iron table extension with a 1000mm table extension with support leg. The cast iron table extension is now attached to the front of the saw table. The result is a huge table surface. Sepp is now adjusting the parallel cutting fence to a comfortable center position. This allows him more crosscut fence length prior to the cut and enables easier loading of longer workpieces. Now Sepp has it easy with the parallel cut of this heavy walnut plank. He does not require any assistance, thanks to Felder technology. The smooth-running format sliding table also supports the operation in this case. Sepp is saving his strength for the upcoming work process. All workpieces are now cut, and we move on to the next work process, planing.
Denken Sie daran, beim Zuschnitt
Always remember to prepare several spare workpieces when cutting. Here in Tyrol we say the devil never sleeps. Something can always happen. Thus it's always a relief if you don't have to start over again from the very beginning. After the cutting, the planing can begin. You'll be amazed how quickly you can convert from sawing to planing on a Felder combination. For over 50 years, we here at Felder set very high value on our planing results. With a Felder, you will achieve a smooth and consistent planing result on every surface and with every type of wood. In just a few steps, the saw is transformed for surface planing. The vacuum quick connector is simply switched, and the parallel cutting fence has a new application as planar fence. A table extension is already in position on the outfeed side. Sepp assembles the second one on the infeed side. He now achieves a total table length of over 3,500 millimeters, a dimension which outshines most solo machines. In the name of safety, Sepp is using the Euro planar guard. He has opted for the foldable version. A fair bit of work is lined up for Sepp, but you will see how easily he manages it with his Felder combination. A quick visual check, the hollow side down, adjust chip thickness, and don't forget safety. Now we can start. One or more passes are required, depending on the structure of the wood. The precision planar tables transfer their accuracy to the workpiece. Immediately after planing the wide surface, use the planar fence for the narrow side. A right angle is planed on the narrow side of the workpiece. Sepp is more than happy with the result. The angle sign will prevent mix-ups in subsequent work processes. Piece by piece, the workpieces are now processed. Observe the dust extraction efficiency. The optimally designed extraction hood ensures that virtually all chips are fed into the dust extractor during planing. The result, Felder precision. We still need the maple wood workpieces for the drawers. The length and cross-section frame for the drawers. The drawer linings. The frame components, completely trimmed and planed. With just a few steps, Sepp sets up his Felder for thicknessing. He tilts both planar tables simultaneously to the machine center, where they interlock automatically. Thus, he is not restricted in terms of moving space. The planar dust extraction hood is also the thicknessing extraction hood and is simply swung round. Attach 120 millimeters quick connector and we can begin. The cast iron table extension Sepp used on the planar table is now attached to the thicknessing table. 16 millimeter final dimension plus 5/10 sanding allowance. With Felder power drive, the work process is accurate to 1/10 of a millimeter. From experience, he knows the benefits of using a lubricant. As Sepp has fitted his machine with a 4-knife cutter block, he can comfortably work with the maximum feed speed of 12 meters per minute without difficulty. However, this will make him work up a sweat, so that he soon decides on switching to the slower 6 meters per minute. The table extension is also useful when working with short workpieces, and is always a welcome help. This is followed by the walnut side parts, final dimension 25 millimeters, sanding allowance 0.5 and accuracy to 1/10 of a millimeter, available at the touch of a button. Even this job does not stress SEP. With a feed speed of 6 meters per minute, it's so much more comfortable. This is followed by the frame parts for the desk tabletop. The final dimension here is 40 millimeters plus 5/10. Due to the large adjustment height of over 250 millimeters, all parts can be planed in a standing position. The German walnut tree is a very precious and expensive wood with a captivating grain. The dimension of the finished desktop can already be estimated at this point. 2 drawers assembled from individual parts, and the frame sides are already assembled, ready for the glue joint cutter head. The overall picture of the individual walnut planks must be consistent and must be in accordance with the solid wood construction laws. The changing position of the tree rings facing each other in individual parts is significant. The triangle will prevent any mix-up potential for the subsequent work processes.
Das perfekte Zusammenspiel.
Perfect interaction of all machine components during surface and thickness planing ensures quality surfaces. The more accurate the planing result, the less sanding is required. With a Felder, you will achieve perfect results every time. Sepp takes a first look at the dimension of the finished desk frame. His excitement leading into the next moulding production process is hard to miss. Moulding is one of the most extensive topics in woodworking. During moulding, the wood is moulded and shaped like in no other work process. Thus, it is the most interesting topic we would like to show you. A Felder combination offers a lot more than an adequate spindle moulder. It features table and support surfaces that turn even solo machines green with envy. Why don't you see for yourself? The Felder Precision Spindle Moulder Fence is manufactured from aluminium pressure casting. Its low weight makes it user-friendly whilst being extremely robust. The assembly takes only a few seconds and is fixed with 2 large clamping levers. A second extraction outlet located under the spindle table ensures that the moulder spindle and the drive mechanism is not affected by dust and chippings. The machine will stay clean, even on the inside. The glue joint cutter head with 2 soft line teeth to enlarge the glue area is clamped into the moulder spindle. All operating elements of the Spindle Moulder are easily accessible. The height of the glue joint cutter head must now be exactly adjusted to the wood thickness. For this, Sepp has prepared 2 sample pieces. A successful sample piece. Now we can begin. A power feeder is an essential accessory for work safety, especially when working with the glue joint cutter. It guarantees a consistent feed rate and flush alignment of workpieces to the Spindle Moulder fence. Sepp has attached the power feeder to the tilting bracket to avoid the troublesome setting up and dismantling process. The combination machine CF741 is thus transformed into an accurate solo spindle moulder in just a few easy steps. Now the workpieces are moulded piece by piece. Extremely precise and clean surfaces are the result of consistent speed and steady contact pressure of the power feeder. The sliding table has been secured and is thus providing an additional support surface. The table extension at the end of the cast iron table enlarges the support surface for workpieces and thus provides increased work safety and stability. The result? Perfect. Would we expect anything less? The next step is to glue the individual parts of the moulded side walls. Sepp's latest acquisition is a clamp cart with over 50 professional screw clamps. He wants to glue all parts simultaneously. Thus, he will need to use virtually all the available clamps. Furthermore, the clamp cart provides space for accessories such as glue containers, glue solubles, and much more. Sepp is clamping additional softwood pieces to the upper and lower side of the panels to stop the individual parts from opening. Three long clamps per panel should be sufficient. In this setting, you can see two glued side parts and the rear wall for a desk frame. During glue joint cutting, the glue surface is significantly enlarged. Thus, the glue joint itself can no longer break open. A small experiment should clarify this for you. The wood breaks next to the glue joint. See here how precise the individual parts have been interlocked with one another. Glued moulded surfaces facilitate the process of all further work processes up to beveling. By the way, in our catalogues you will not only find suitable tools and accessories, but also a wide range of workshop equipment, such as SEP's very own clamp carts. Please take a look now at how the desk continues to develop. After approximately 1 hour, SEP can unclamp his glued parts for processing. Beforehand, he sets up his felder for the trimmings ahead. With many combination machines, you lose valuable time with changeover work processes, time which could be used more constructively. With a felder, things are quite different. See for yourself how convenient and quick changeover work can take place with a felder. The setting of the power feeder must not be modified. SEP simply swings it under the table with ease. The Spindle Moulder fence also keeps its original setting, thanks to the multi-adjustment system. The glue joint cutter head is lowered and the circular saw blade is raised. Thanks to the power drive, SEP can do both simultaneously. Finally, the transparent circular saw protection hood is mounted, and we can begin. The rear walls of the desk will be cut to the finished dimension using the parallel cutting fence. The ideal accessory for parallel cuts on the sliding table is the detachable parallel cutting device. A retractable positive stop facilitates rough and final cuts. The cross-cut stop and the retractable end stop are adjusted to the same setting. Parallel cuts with the sliding table are ideal, especially when working with large and heavy workpieces, as opposed to those at the circular saw table. Additional benefits are the extremely smooth running felder sliding table, the large support area, and the potential to complete the workpiece in just one work cycle. SEP has purchased a second crosscut stop for his fence. He can now process either the longitudinal or vertical piece by simply flipping over the stop. Faith is good. Complete control is better. The desk foundation is gaining shape. Only a few steps to go. All that's missing is the base and cover for the frame. The first cut and the sizing up, once again with the parallel cutting device. The longitudinal size is once again determined by the second crosscut stop. Two covers, two bases. Now we start with the cross-cutting of the drawer parts. In order to carry the short sections away from the saw blade, Sepp places a deflector wedge next to the blade. This can be fixed to the machine bench easily and safely with two strong holding magnets. The deflector prevents the small sections from being caught by the emerging teeth at the back of the saw blade. First cut and sizing cut, etc. It runs like clockwork. All that is missing are the tenons on the frame corners, and the drawer is complete.
Die exakten Einstellmöglichkeiten und
The exact setting possibilities and the proverbial Felder precision make it easy for you to create highly precise workpieces. Just like Sepp, you can also perform jobs with your Felder combination machine, which others can only aspire to with a selection of professional solo machines. The extremely short setup times between work processes will have no impact on your progress. Sepp is convinced that the desk made with his Felder will be perfect. He is aware of the many calculation errors which can result from vague work processes and can ruin any project. Sepp has gained a world of experience working with machines throughout his lifetime as a carpenter. As the proud owner of a Felder, he swears by it. Now we can watch Sepp during his preparations for curve moulding. An accurate template is a guarantee for perfectly moulded curved parts. For the curved segment of the tabletop frame, Sepp prepares a template. He begins by setting the reference points for the piece. He now presses an equally grown piece of softwood against the reference points and forms the curve. Sepp now cuts out the template with the bandsaw. Important, the more precise the cut, the less he needs to correct later on. Every flaw on the template is transferred to the workpiece. The finishing jobs on the outside of the template can be completed quickly, thanks to precise preparation. Using the marking gauge, the line marking occurs with utmost precision, exactly parallel to the curve. The workpiece width will correspond exactly to that of the template, 100 millimeters. Once again, the bandsaw is applied. The template is almost finished. All that is left to do is to rework the inner radius with the sanding cylinder. In this case, the curve shaping guard acts as an extraction hood for the sanding dust. The moulder spindle runs at 3,500 revs per minute, which is the lowest of the 4 speeds for the moulder spindle. The secret of preparing a template is a precise bandsaw cut. This keeps the required finishing to a minimum. The completed template. Small rectifications are only done manually. The template contours can now be transferred to the unfinished workpiece. So far it has been cut to length and planed to 40 millimeters with a little extra to allow for sanding. The bandsaw is put to use once again. Sepp cuts out both curves with an excess of approximately 5 millimeters. Moulding with a guide ring. In this case, the guide ring diameter is equal to the diameter of the cutter head. Sepp has screwed the template to the workpiece. The screw holes are situated in the excess material and will be removed later on. The concept behind using the guide ring. The workpiece is situated below, the template on top. The guide ring copies the curve from the template onto the workpiece. Sepp uses a 140mm high-performance rebate head with 2 pulling blades. The curve shaping guard is essential to safety during all curve shaping work. The template is no longer required. For all remaining jobs, the workpiece itself will act as a stop. Such as, for example, the rebate into which the tabletop is later inserted. The 140mm guide ring is simply replaced with a 120mm ring. The rebate depth therefore amounts to exactly 10mm. A profile is now moulded onto the underside of the frame. The guide ring sits against the workpiece. The tool in use is a universal safety milling head with profile knives. It runs at 8,000 revs per minute. The high speed results in a perfectly machined surface. The sharp edge at the top of the frame must be finished off. Sepp uses an HW radius cutter with disposable blades and a radius of 5 millimeters. The suitable guide ring has a diameter of 110 millimeters. Before and after. Perfect.
Geformtes Holz.
Shaping wood. First came the idea, then the anticipation, and now I have the perfect result in front of me. Thanks to his Felder combination machine, Sepp can be very proud of his achievement so far. The straight parts of the frame are now machined with the same work processes on the professional Spindle Moulder fence. Later on, Sepp will show you how a perfect 90-degree finish is planed on the outside of the frame with a tilted spindle. In addition, you will see how you can even perform unusual moulder jobs with the power feeder. Anytime. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now all straight parts of the table frame must be provided with a profile and radius. Sepp is demonstrating the safe operation of the spindle moulder with the standard protective devices. The Euro Spindle Moulder guard is attached to the Spindle Moulder fence cover. This consists of a pressure shoe which presses the workpiece down and a transparent contact spring which presses the workpiece flush against the fence plate. Significantly more comfortable, precise and safer would be to use the power feeder. Similar to the curved segment, the 10mm deep rebate must also be planed on the straight parts for the tabletop. The moulding jobs on the tabletop frame are now complete. Sepp has already saved a substantial amount of money with his Felder tilting spindle moulder. For example, he wants to add a right-angle finish on both external parts of the desk foundation. This should be glued on at 45 degrees mitre. Normally, he would need a special 45-degree mitre glue joint cutter for this purpose. With his Felder, he is able to perform this operation with a very basic standard glue joint cutter head and the spindle tilted at 45 degrees, which can be clearly identified on these detailed images. In this example, Sepp is showing us the importance of safety bar guides between the fence plates. As the drawers do not have handles, recessed grips must be moulded on the inside. Hereby, the safety bar guides support the workpiece exactly in line with the fence plates. This is what the recessed grip looks like. The drawer frame edges must now be finger jointed. A finger joint cutter set consisting of 5 grooving cutters arranged on top of each other and ring kits, each 10mm in width. The crosscut fence now sits in the center of the sliding table. Sepp assembles a splinter guard on the fence which prevents tear out at the rear of the workpiece. The drawer parts are affixed with clamps. The outfeed fence plate is adjusted to -5 mm for this procedure. For the counterpart finger joints, the tooling is lowered by exactly 10 mm. As you can imagine, the electric spindle height adjustment power drive significantly contributes to the precision of the adjustment. This is what a professional finger joint looks like. Now all that is missing are the grooves. For this, Sepp is taking advantage of an amazing feature on his power feeder. The power feeder is fitted with a so-called advanced tilting head. This provides the option of placing the rolling unit in a lying position. Thus, the pressure is directed against the fence plate, which is particularly useful whilst moulding parts in an upright position. In addition, Sepp sets the direction of rotation on the spindle shaft to match the drive direction of the power feeder. Synchronized moulding must only be performed with mechanical feeder devices, as the cutter head will attempt to tear the workpiece in the feed direction. This can have dangerous repercussions during manual feeding. On the other hand, you can achieve an absolutely splinter-free work result with synchronized moulding, which can be clearly identified on these detailed images. Did you ever imagine that moulding work on a Felder combination machine could be so versatile, precise and easy at the same time? That brings a smile to the face of every craftsman. Now Sepp wants to complete the desk, only a few more steps to go. The miter cuts for the curved frame have puzzled Sepp for some time, until he eventually found the best solution. How? See for yourself. To perform a miter cut on the curve, Sepp has opted for the somewhat time-consuming but therefore much more accurate technique of using a template. On a large and rectangular cut panel, he transfers all the dimensions and in doing so acquires the exact miter angle required. He takes the curve from the curve template he made earlier. He now sets up the fence with the necessary miter angle. Now you will also see why the panel must be rectangular. The parallel sides of the template allow for a precise alignment to the telescopic stop. To affix the workpiece, Sepp uses an eccentric clamp on the sliding table and a screw-down clamp at the other end. First cut. And the changeover. The exact length is already marked on the support panel. This is followed by miter cuts on both straight parts. The angle remains the same. And here, the first result. We continue with the 45-degree cuts. Sepp relies 100% on his miter index with length compensation. A highly precise pin location system at a 45-degree angle completely prevents reading errors. The measurement of the workpiece length at 45 degrees is also reliable due to the length compensation feature. The frame is now ready for joining. Sepp opts for a traditional dowel connection. For this, he uses a horizontal mortiser. The positions are marked and end stops set the width. The hole distances were set precisely with the mortise width stops. The drill depth was set to a little more than half the dowel length with the depth stop. Now the counterpart. Clearly identifiable on the drilling table, the depth stop with the scale. The single-hand lever operation is extremely convenient. The hardened and beveled metal guiding tracks on Felder's horizontal mortiser offer the precision required for jobs of this nature. The result makes it obvious how precise the Felder horizontal mortiser operates. Sepp has drilled holes in the rear side of the frame, which are to be plugged later on. For gluing, he is using a special miter clamp, which he is using to pull the frame parts together. The sample prior to gluing shows all miters have turned out perfect in the clamps. The frame is square. Sepp has performed highly precise work with his Felder CF 741. Now 12 dowels made from a leftover piece of walnut are prepared to fill out the holes in the frame. Sepp can now glue the frame perfectly on his own by using the miter clamps. A simple tool and the right know-how makes the life of a craftsman easy every now and then. Sepp has another brilliant idea for my desk. A drawer with a bottle tray made of solid wood. In order to pull this off to perfection, Sepp dug deep into his craftsman's bag of tricks. Thanks to Felder, no problem. An unbeatable performance feature seen only on Felder machines is the quick spindle exchange system. In less than 15 seconds, Sepp has replaced his standard spindle for a high-speed router spindle. The high-speed router spindle runs at 15,000 revs per minute and has a collet chuck for securing router bits. For the right-hand side desk drawer, Sepp has thought of something very special. A removable bottle tray. For this he requires perfectly cut circles and starts off by preparing a template. The bottle diameter was applied with a compass. A screw acts as an axis. The groove depth is adjusted to approximately half of the thickness of the template. The entire assembly is now securely clamped to the table. An extraction funnel is already in position to keep the work area clean. Now we can begin. The center part will now be broken out and trimmed. For this, Sepp is using a special router bit tipped with HW with attached guide ring. Two different bottle diameters are transferred to the tray panel and cut out with the keyhole saw. The templates are screwed on. With the guide ring on the router bit, the contour is transferred to the workpiece. Notice the perfect dust extraction under the table. Virtually no sawdust remains on the table. The bottle tray is intended for 3 larger and 3 smaller diameters. This perfection is only possible with a Felder high-speed router spindle. The finished tray. The frame, the grooves in the base, and the cover. Lastly, Sepp will show you the creation of the tabletop. As a finishing touch, it will be covered with fine leather. In order to allow it to fit more easily into the rebate of the panel frame after the leather lining, all cuts are completed with a slight bevel. As you can see here, it does not only depend on the exact interaction of the sliding table and the mitre fence. To allow such large formats to be processed on their own, a sufficiently large support surface is required. The material Sepp is processing here is a multiplex panel. Multiplex panels can be used wherever robustness and maintenance of shape are required. The curve for the tabletop is now directly transferred from the table frame onto a template. Here you see the template which has been cut out using the bandsaw and then touched up. Which is now screwed together with the tabletop and then moulded using the guide ring with the familiar method. The finished panel fits exactly into the frame. All that is missing is the final check and the assembly of the drawer fittings. Sepp then inspects his work with a critical eye. He has finished it and is clearly proud of his work and of his Felder CF 741 Professional.
Vor einer halben Woche hat Sepp mit den Arbeiten begonnen.
Sepp started his work half a week ago. Today he has completed the desk and is totally thrilled with the versatility of his Felder. With a Felder combination machine, you will tackle any challenge, no matter how big. It is the only combination which can be applied rationally due to its unique design concept and distinguished machine technology. You've seen it for yourself. In one Felder combination machine, you will find 4 professional solo machines: format circular saw, tilting spindle moulder, surface planer, and thickness planer. Now it is your turn. Realize your ideas with a Felder Combi. The structural design for this desk is available to download on our homepage. In addition, we welcome your feedback. Write to us, call us, or visit us in one of our showrooms. We look forward to meeting you.
Oder kommen Sie in eines unserer Ausstellungszentren. Wir freuen uns auf Sie.
Should you require detailed information on tooling, accessories, dust extraction technology, etc., please request a free catalogue.
Bis bald.
See you soon.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye. The Felder Combi Machine's delivery program includes numerous models in various performance and equipment options. The basic model with compact dimensions, the Hammer Combi C331. For woodworkers who value more comfort, the Hammer Combi C331 Comfort, with more equipment at a great price. The Heavy Hammer C331 Perform for regular daily operation. The Perform line has been especially developed for the price-conscious craftsman. The Felder CF 531, entry into the champion class of combi machines at the lowest possible price. CF 531 Professional, the golden mean for the woodworker with numerous additional details at a special price. One of the best combi machines of all time, the CF 741 Professional, the all-round package in the champion class of combi machines with 41 centimeter planing width. The ultimate combi, CF 741S Professional, with a cutting length of up to 3.2 meters. The CF 741S is the ultimate combi for heavy-duty daily operation in handcraft and trade.